Oh, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Here it is. It is Wednesday, the 5th of August, and we are coming to you live and loud from the heart of the Arkansas Delta. Hey, good morning. What's going on, everybody? What is going on, going on? It is good to see you as you begin to make your way into my kitchen. And grab yourself a seat, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and just hang out with me for a few minutes this morning. We are going to be continuing in the fourth chapter, the final chapter in the book of 2 Timothy. This is a pretty intense part that we're going to read today, so I hope you got your Bibles with you, and hope that you can join me here just a little bit. We're going to kind of chit-chat for a little bit and see what everybody's doing this morning. See what's happening at your place of business, and let me know what is here, what is on, and all that good stuff. I am in the process of hitting that share button, and I'd like to encourage you to do the same thing. Be sure when you get in, hit the share button. We want to be available to your friends and family as well. We'd love to bring them into the kitchen this morning and to hang out and grab a cup of coffee with Jim Bob. I would love to do that. And here, good morning, Miss Mary Ellen. How are you this fine, crisp day in the Delta? I stepped outside about a half hour ago, and it was just nice, isn't it? Have you been outside yet, Miss Mary? I mean, just really, really nice. The humidity is down. Praise the Lord. That's a good thing, especially for a fat boy like me. And I enjoy that. And hopefully, it will stay down. Miss Denise and I have got to make a road trip today, and we're looking for a good day as we travel. So I'm hoping the temperature stays down. Good morning, Mary Weddington. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Mary, are you back outside? You were outside last night with our Zoom class last night. That was so fun. I was so glad that you were outside. And the Jones were outside in Spokane last night. That was just so much fun. What a great Zoom class. We really did. If you get on and you were not able to hang out with us last night at 7 o'clock in the Zoom room, we did broadcast that, and so you can go back and catch the rewind of that bad boy here on Facebook, and I'd encourage you to do that. Talking about staying sober, it's a good conversation. It really was a good conversation. Miss Mary says, no, I'm just getting away. Girl, I understand. Holy cow, I understand that. It is just, it's hard to do. I'm not a morning person per se. It's hard for me to get awake, but when I get awake, boy, I'm all in, and I'm loud, and I love life first thing in the morning. But it's that getting awake. I mean, you know what I'm talking about? I'm hard to get out of bed. It's hard to literally get what I use the phrase, get the cobwebs out. But man, oh man, when those eyelids finally go, oh boy, Jim is locked in. Jim is good to go, and it has always been that kind of fun for me. I did a lot of camps, a lot of youth and children's camps over the years, and generally I was the camp pastor or the camp worship leader. And everybody knew that when Brother Jim hit the floor and was ready to go, that it was all hands on deck, and that it was about to get loud in the dorms and loud on that whole campground. And it was so much fun. I've done some wild and crazy things over the years to wake kids up at church camp. So I love it. I just love that early morning feeling. I don't have a whole lot of opportunity now to go outside and sit on a porch and drink a cup of coffee. I know I saw Miss Judy Davis. Denise, did you say Miss Judy? Miss Judy's already been outside, grabbing coffee on the porch. Miss Judy, you here? When you get in, if I don't see you, you got to say howdy to me. Let me know who all is who's pulled up in my kitchen this morning. Let me know who else here. She's already been outside listening to the birds and enjoying the cool weather. And I enjoy that, but I just don't. I probably have the time, I just don't take the time. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all ever do that? You just don't take the time to do certain things? That's me. But again, hey, don't forget, go back and check out that Zoom broadcast last night. It's pretty good. Back in Proverbs, and just good conversation. Talked about not only alcohol, but gluttony, and just the consumption of food and what it does to us. And the whole conversation was about Solomon and a conversation to his son. And it was not only to his son, but to other young Israelites. And then it's great. I mean, it's a great word for us today. So I would really enjoy going back and taking a look at that. Good morning, Miss Sandy. Good morning, lady. I hope you and Mr. Jack are doing good and having a good day. Hey, we're back on campus tonight. Tonight is a big step for us. We are coming back on campus for our midweek Bible study. Wednesday Night Live returns to the campus. And so we're going to be online or on campus tonight. If you're still not comfortable getting out, or maybe you just don't want to drive at night. And we understand that. Hey, pull you up a chair right here, Facebook Live, 6:30. I'm going to have my computer beside me so that we can still talk just like normal, like we have been over the past several months. We've developed a very good Wednesday night Bible study online, and I do not want to lose that. We just want to give anybody that opportunity to come and hang out on campus in person, but we will still have that same personal touch with the Wednesday Night Live. So don't think that it'll be just a broadcast. You're going to get to interact with me, talk with me, and ask questions in the conversation. Tonight we are in Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5. And we had actually gotten to about the middle of the chapter back when we got into the pandemic. And so what tonight my plans are is to give a overview of the first 4 chapters, and then bring us into a quick overview of where we were in chapter 5, and then pick up if the time allows. But we want to make sure that we set the pace. And I think it's very interesting that when we do this, for those of you that are going to be on campus or catch us online tonight, is that we're looking at the letter that Paul wrote to the church, where this letter that we're studying during the mornings here with our coffee chat time, where the pastor is. This is the letter, today is the letter to the pastor, and then tonight's the letter to the church body. So it's very, very coincidental, and I really hope that you can join me. Where we left off, and I remember this well as I've been studying, getting ready for tonight, we left off in that conversations about husbands and wives treat each other in that chapter. And so I'm hoping that we can get there and dive into that. It's very, very good stuff for us, even for those of us that have been married for years. It's always good to go back and to to retouch on that, and to see again what God is talking about in our marriages. It's so good, and I use it a lot in premarital counseling. So just good stuff. Morning, Denny. Morning, Denny. How are you this morning, Miss Denny? I bet you, boy, it's probably, you've already got a half a day done this morning, Miss Denny. It's 8:45, so I can pretty much imagine you've been up and about and all that good stuff. Tell me all the things. What you been doing, Miss Denny? I'm ready for you. By the way, I have got everything test run in the sanctuary for the ladies' Bible study tomorrow. I got in there, got that DVD working, sound system working. So that is all good stuff. Tonight, unless you and I chat about the setup and all that good stuff. So don't let me forget tonight at church. I'm sure you're going to be there. Don't let me forget, so that I can kind of have it in my head what we're going to do, how it's going to look like, and all that good stuff. So please don't forget about that. Tonight, 6:30 live, loud, online or on campus. It's Wednesday Night Live. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Miss Pat Sunday School class. It'll be 10 o'clock right here. That'll be after my live. So you want to make sure you catch both of those in the morning. Tomorrow tomorrow we should wrap up. Yes, we're going to wrap up 2 Timothy tomorrow. We're going to wrap up 2 Timothy tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. And then Friday, we pick up the book of Titus. And we're actually going to see Titus come into the picture today when we read. Good morning, Jesse. What's going on, girl? How in the world are you doing, Jesse? Sarah DeVazier. Good morning, Miss Sarah. Hey, I saw a picture of your house a while ago. Love that. And, it's always good to have that dream home, isn't it? Love it. Y'all got just gorgeous property out there, by the way. So it's good to see that. Good to see that. Hey, anybody else sticking into my kitchen this morning, grabbing a cup of coffee? Tell me what's going on. Tell me what your plans are today. Miss Denise has a doctor's appointment today, a follow-up, and so we are headed to the metropolis of the borough. We're going to Jonesboro today. And got to go get that all taken care of. Got to pick up a couple things for the church, and then we will be back in town to get set up tonight for the Wednesday Night Live. When you get there, if you're coming on campus, what I want to do is I would like for you to sit in those two center sections so that we can kind of condense, as long as we can social distance, obviously. And if we can't, we'll spread out over the sanctuary. It doesn't matter. But I'd like to stay fairly close so that we can kind of hear each other and we can talk back and forth as much as possible. So that is my plan. If we can't, that is okay. We will make arrangements. So it's no big deal. Okay, let me see. Is that it? Let me see. Campus prayer meetings, 23rd. That's coming. Campus prayer gatherings. That's coming up on the 23rd. We're going to get some more stuff. Let me see here. Robert Fellows Jr. Brother Robert, my brother, Hot Springs, Arkansas. I love this. And for those of you who don't know, he has just thrown a joke at me, is what he done. He is about to take a dive into temperament theory. This is he is one of my closest best friends in all of the planet, and he is in his doctoral program, and this is one of his doctoral classes, is temperament theory. No, and okay, now Robert, you and I have talked about this. You cannot sit there and analyze your bride. Now, we've already had this discussion. Do not start analyzing Christy. You can't do that. And I've already told you, you can analyze me. Every time you see me, every time you hear me, you can go ahead and do that. I can be your guinea pig, but brother, Ephesians 5. That's all I'm going to say. Ephesians 5. You can't do this to Christy. You just simply can't do it. So stop that mess, okay? And if you do, by all means, please don't tell her. Okay? Oh my goodness, please don't tell her. Let's see here. Hey, did everybody see the news yesterday about the big explosion in Lebanon? The two big bomb blasts that went off in Beirut, there on the port of Beirut. You know, there's a whole lot of theories that's going on out there. I'm not even going to wade into that. I have seen several videos from different angles of that, and there is two distinct explosions, two bomb-like maneuvers that went off. The second one was a monumental blast. It was a mushroom cloud. I've even saw a video from folks that took it out at sea, and so you could actually see the waves moving due to the rocking of that explosion. And I also saw a video last night where there was a Catholic church actually having mass, and it was being filmed. And they've got the broadcast of what went on inside that thing, and so it's just pretty intimidating. Jesse says fertilizer. Yes, Jesse, that is one of the theories that is out there. So you just don't know. Israel has denied involvement, although there is a lot of tension going on between Israel and Hezbollah, which is kind of taking up shop there in Beirut. So there's a lot of tensions in the Middle East. What I would encourage you to do is to pray for the Lebanese people, because there's a lot of death that went on yesterday. There's a lot of injuries. The last count I read last night, and somebody correct me if you have heard differently, the last count I have heard is over 70 killed and over 3,000 injured. So this is a monumental event that took place. And this is a country that's just not in good shape anyway. And so we want to pray for the Lebanese people as they're really under siege anyway from Hezbollah. And it's bad times over there. And so we want to pray for the recovery efforts that they can get all the injured back to safety. I posted last night pictures of the aftermath of what it looked like after this thing is over, and it's just unbelievable. So please pray for those folks that are there. Okay, Brian Ponder's in. Good morning, Brian. I hope you are doing better. Hope you have been able to get back and to get settled in. Oh, hey, while I'm thinking about it, for those of you in the Colt area today, starting at 9 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, at 9 o'clock, and I want to say it's going to go till 11 or 12. I don't know the specifics. But at Colt Baptist Church, our friends at Colt Baptist Church, Brother Clint Haynes and Brother Gary Guston, they are going to be having drive-through prayer today. They have a canopy in front of their church, just like we do on our north and south ends. And what they are going to do is they are just going to give anyone an opportunity that would like to come in and drive through to have some special, personal, private prayer time there today starting at 9 o'clock. And so if you are out and about and you are in that area, I just want to encourage you to go do that and to just pray with Brother Clint and Brother Gary that are there, and just spend some time there with them. Let them pray for you, pray with you. I love Brother Clint. He is such a dear, dear brother in the ministry. And we love Colt Baptist Church, as we are our sister churches, not only in association, but here in the Delta. And we are brothers and sisters in Christ. And so if you were there, again, out and about, please do that. Again, this morning, I know it starts at 9, and I'm thinking it's going to go till 11. So, in case you get out there and they're already done, then you're going to know why. But that is a drive-through prayer today at Colt Baptist Church. And make sure you let them know how you found out about it, that, we shared that and encouraged you to get down there and to go see those sweet folks with Brother Clint. Okay, hey, we're going to get in and get on our text this morning. We're in 2 Timothy chapter 4. 2 Timothy 4, we're going to be beginning at verse 9, and this is the ending of this letter. This is the winding down of the letter. And what we need to understand is this is the winding down of Paul's life. It's almost like reality is hitting. And he knows his days are numbered. He's basically all alone. There's one person that's with him. We're going to see that here in the text this morning. But even through it all, even knowing that his days are absolutely numbered, he's in a prison. He's back in a Roman prison. He is still giving everything he has for the furtherment of the gospel and to encourage others in their roles, especially this young preacher boy Timothy, as the pastoral role in the church at Ephesus. So let's dive in. 2 Timothy chapter 4. And good morning to everybody that is beginning to get in and get on. If I have not said hello to you, please get on and say hello to me. Let me know that you're here, and let me know that you're hanging out in my kitchen this morning. And tomorrow we're going to wrap up chapter 4 and all of 2 Timothy. So let's see, tomorrow's Thursday, and then on Friday morning we kick off the book of Titus, which is another pastoral epistle, and we will have read all 3 of the letters that Paul wrote to these preacher boys, and just encouragement to them, leadership in the church, structure of the church, so on and so forth. So I hope that you have really gleaned some stuff out of it. I'd love your thoughts, if you will, on what 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy has really said to you, and what it has kind of brought out to you, and how you have gathered some information. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you pick up something in these first 2 books that you just didn't know. Maybe you see something going to church, but you didn't really understand it. So anything. I love your thoughts. You can put them here in the comments. You can shoot me a text, whatever you'd like to do. But just kind of get with me. Let me know what God has done in your life through these 2 books here in our coffee chat time. Okay, 2 Timothy chapter 4. And we're going to pick up at verse number 9. We've already looked at his big charge to Timothy, which was to preach the word. We saw that 2 days ago. And then yesterday, we looked at Paul's life in an athletic event as a race. He's fought the good fight. He's finished the race. He's kept the faith. So here we are. We're winding down. Okay, so stay with me. Here we go. Verse number 9, again, talking to Timothy. Paul writes this. Be diligent to come to me quickly, for Demas has forsaken me. Now, Demas is an individual that was there, that was part of Paul's crew, but has now stepped away. He's walked away. He's basically abandoned Paul here in the prison. The thing I want us to understand is this entire text that we're reading today can be labeled the abandoned apostle. The abandoned apostle. Be diligent to come to me quickly, for Demas has forsaken me, having loved this present world. In other words, he stepped away, and he is caught up more in what the world had to offer. He, having loved this present world, and has departed for Thessalonica. So we know that Demas was with him. He stepped away, literally just abandoning Paul and going back into worldly ways, and he's headed to Thessalonica. And then he talks about 2 other folks. Cretans for Galatia. And this is the guy that we'll know as the pastor at the church at Galatia. Okay. And Titus for Dalmatia. So now we're getting this introduction into Titus. And so when we get to Titus on Friday, let's understand that that is a letter to the man who's the pastor at the church where? At Dalmatia. So these are 2 guys that were with him, but they have departed. They're going into their respective churches. So Demas has left. He's just kind of basically abandoned everything. He's gone back into the way of the world. And then you've got Cretans, at Galatia, and Titus in Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Only Luke is with me. Do you hear the loneliness in Paul's voice? Do you hear the loneliness? It's like Luke is the only companion that Paul, and you know, it's kind of sad, but it's really not surprising. It's clear that these two, that Dr. Luke and then, by the way, Dr. Luke, this is the same Dr. Luke that wrote the book of Luke, okay? So let's understand that. Dr. Luke and the Apostle Paul had a really, really strong relationship that developed over the years because they did a lot of traveling together. They were almost inseparable as a ministry team. And in all honesty, they set a powerful example of ministry teams today. If you get staff members that can have that kind of bond, it's amazing. And that's really what you know, you want to strive for in churches. You want to encourage your pastor, your staff, to have this type of relationship because they literally had each other's back and they stuck with one another to the very end. But here you've got Paul and you've got Dr. Luke. It's very possible, some theologians have thought that at this point in Paul's life that he was physically unable to write these letters and that he was dictating them and Dr. Luke was actually writing them. Now, we don't know that 100%, but that's just some strong theological thoughts that come in this direction. Then we see this. Only Luke is with me. Ready to see this? Okay. Luke is with me. Let's see, Robert. Luke also wrote Acts. Is that correct? That is correct. That is correct. Dr. Luke wrote the book of Luke, and he did write the book of Acts. Yeah, sure did, Robert. Thank you. Paul writes this: get Mark and bring him with you, for he is useful to me in ministry. Now, this is John Mark, okay? This is the man who wrote the Gospel of Mark, all right? So now that we're identifying who this is, why is this line important here at this point? If you remember right, there was some tension between Paul and Mark back in the first two missionary journeys that they had, and they ended up separating. It was almost like you had two alpha males, and they just could not work together. And so John Mark went his own way. But what we see here, based on this statement, is that there was some reconciliation that was done between the two, and he is wanting Mark to come back. Evidently, again, those tensions are gone. Bring him with you, for he is useful to me for ministry. And Tychicus I have sent to Ephesus. In other words, Timothy, you need to understand something. This brother's coming. Tychicus is coming. And he's coming to help you. Bring the cloak. Okay, remember, Timothy's supposed to be coming to see Paul. Bring the cloak that I left with Carpus at Troas when you come, and the books, especially the parchment. Bring the cloak. This is like a covering. It is a coat of some sort. And so what I want you to understand is this is a man who is living his last days, his last hours in the deep, dark, damp dungeons of a Roman prison. Okay? The conditions could not be more deplorable. All right? And so he's calling for extra cover. He's struggling. He's hurting physically. He's cold. I'm sure at this age and what all his body has been through that he's hurting in more ways physically than we can imagine. I'm sure bones ache. I'm sure joints throb. I'm sure he's having to dodge the rats and the bugs that are there in the prison with him. And so I want you to understand the physical presence as to what's going on with this man. And when he writes this, okay, he's literally looking for something to come back in and to help him in this physical time. Bring the cloak that I left with you, or that I left with Carpus at Troas when you come, and the books, especially the parchment. Okay, even in his last days, he wants to learn. He wants to read. He wants to study. What are we talking about here? We're most probably looking at the Old Testament. We're looking at any of the commentaries that were written by the rabbis at that point, and they're all on parchment paper. And so even in his last days, Paul sets the example of being the student. Now, we got several educators that are on here, and we've got a doctoral student that's here I've been a student all of my life, it seems like, and as I've shared with most of you, one day soon, hopefully, I want to go back and get a second doctorate. So I love the study. I love the concept of studying and learning and educating myself. And this is one of those examples that I gleaned from. This is a man well in years, well advanced in years. And you almost want to say he's on his deathbed, because the Roman government is about to kill this man. And yet, what does he want to do? He wants to encourage others. He wants to encourage other churches. And he wants to study. He wants to further his knowledge, and he wants to further his wisdom. Powerful, powerful example. Then he says in verse 14, Alexander the coppersmith did me much harm. Now, I'm going to let you do some homework there and just to see if you can find out exactly what that was. See what you find. Do you find anything? Something that's going to go on there. I love this. May the Lord repay him according to his works. In other words, he's going to get what he's got coming to him. I don't have to do anything. God's going to take care of it. But whatever he done, he really, really was detrimental to Paul's ministry and to the life of Paul. Verse 15, you also must be aware of him, for he has greatly resisted our words. In other words, he is still out here. He is out and about. And by the way, he can get you too. And y'all, we've seen troublemakers, haven't we? We understand what it's like for those that just want to cause harm to the church and the church body. And so we have to keep an eye on it. We have to be aware of it. And we have to tell one another about them in the ministry. I have personal conversations with pastors all the time about folks that, you need to be aware of. And they have blessed me over the years to always keep me guarded. And I've done my best to do the same thing with other pastors. Now, are you gossiping? No, absolutely not. You're taking the words Paul here, and you're really trying to guard them and to protect them in the ministry. You also must be aware of him, for he has greatly resisted our words. At my first defense, no one stood with me, but all forsook me. In other words, at my first defense, there was no one here to throw up a hand in support. There was no one here. I was all alone. All alone. And then what does he says? May it not be charged against them. He said, I understand. I get it. It's okay. I hope that they are not struggled. I hope that they don't have to pay for that. So a lonely and abandoned apostle here on his last days on earth, yet he is still encouraging his young preacher boy, his son in the ministry, Timothy. He's sending help to him, and he's asking for him to bring back a couple of things. Bring back the cloak and bring the book and the parchments. And I will see you soon is basically what he's saying. Tomorrow we wrap up this incredible letter, the second letter to Timothy, Paul's preacher boy, and then we begin to take a look at the letter to Titus. And we remember just a couple verses back that he is the pastor, the lead guy at Dalmatia. And that begins on Friday. Hey, folks, that's all I've got for this Wednesday. Remember, 6:30 tonight, online or on campus. It is Wednesday Night Live, and we're diving deep into Ephesians 5. Anything for me, you let me know. Holler at me. Gloria's in the office today. Make sure you can give her a call if you need anything, and she will get to me as well. In the meantime, I love you guys. Be safe. Have a fabulous Wednesday. Tell somebody about Jesus today, all right? We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.